Hello class. Today we're going over the 1.1 notes in Survey of Algebra. We're solving simple one-step equations. So when we solve an equation, we're trying to get the letter by itself. Some people like to use a line to indicate that the equal sign is a wall when you're solving these, because whatever you do to one side of the wall, you have to do the other side of the wall. The line is not necessary, but if it helps you, you can use it. Now, if I'm trying to get B alone on the left-hand side, I need to move that plus 2. To move it, you use the opposite of plus 2, which is minus 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 below the plus 2. I did that on the left-hand side, so now on the right-hand side, I need to do the same thing. The 2's on the left cancel out. B is now by itself. I put my equals sign, and negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. Notice how I showed all my work. It is important that you show your work steps like I do in order to get full credit. For number 2, we're trying to get G alone. We need to move the minus 1.7. To move it, we do the opposite, which is plus 1.7. I add 1.7 below the minus 1.7, and then I'll add 1.7 to the negative 0.9. This leaves G alone on the left-hand side. On the right, 1.7 minus 0.9 is another way you could think of this. So you could think of it as money. You have $1.70. You're subtracting 90 cents from it. That should give you 80 cents left, which is 0.8. And you're done. For number 3, it's okay that the variable's on the right-hand side. We just want to get that variable, the letter K, alone on that right-hand side. So to do that, I need to move the plus 3 by subtracting 3 on each side. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. Don't forget to put your equal sign. I bring down my K, and the 3 minus 3 cancels out. For number 4, we have r minus pi equals pi. So this pi symbol, I'm sure you've seen before. It equals approximately 3.14. It is like a number. So what we're trying to get alone is the r. To get r alone, we need to move the minus pi by adding pi to each side. Now r is alone on the left because those pi's cancel out. Now on the right, we have 1 pi plus 1 more pi. That means we have 2 pi's. For number 5, we need to move that minus 1/4 to get t alone. To do that, I'm going to do the opposite and add 1/4 to each side. Bring down my t. Negative 1/4 plus 1/4 cancels out. I have negative 3/4 plus 1/4. Well, they both have a common denominator, so I can add across the top. Negative 3 plus 1. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2/4. We can simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 2 to get negative 1/2. For number 6, we need to get z alone. This 5.6 is a positive 5.6. Since it's positive, we do the opposite. The opposite of positive is negative, so it's as if we're subtracting 5.6 to move it. Bring down my z. These cancel out. So we have negative 8 minus 5.6. They're the same sign, so we can add them together. And we get a negative 13.6. And the next set of problems, we're multiplying or dividing to get the letter alone. So for number 7, this y over 4 equals negative 7. Y over 4 means y divided by 4. So if it's division and we want to get y alone, we need to do the opposite. We need to multiply by 4 on both sides. Notice how I did not put the 4 on the bottom when I showed multiplication. I put it on the top because that's the only way it will cancel out. So I get y equals negative 7 times 4 is negative 28. For this next one, I have 6 pi equals pi times x. Remember that pi is like a number. So if we have pi times x, to get rid of the pi, we need to divide by pi. They cancel out on the left, so you have x alone. On the right, pi divided by pi, that's just like if you had 2 divided by 2, it equals 1, so we have 6 left. Now for number 9, I don't like these decimals. I would want to get rid of them first. So to get rid of the 0.09, I have to move it over twice. So I'm moving the decimal over twice, and it gives me 9w. Well, if I move it over twice on the left, I have to move it over twice on the right. So that becomes 180. Now this is a little easier to figure out. I can divide both sides by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2, so 180 divided by 9 is 20. Okay, in this next section, solve. P minus 8 divided by 1/2 equals -3. So there's a little bit of order of operations work we have to do here. We have the -8 divided by 1/2. Well, that equals -4. Now we can add the 4 to each side to get P alone. -3 plus 4 is 1. For number 11, Q plus the absolute value of -10. Recall, absolute value makes all numbers positive. So knowing that the absolute value sign makes all numbers positive, this will become Q plus +10. Now we can get Q alone by moving that 10. If it's a +10 to move it, we need to subtract 10 from each side. Bring down our Q. These 10s cancel out, and 2 minus 10 is -8. All right, our last problem for the day is a word problem. It says the melting point of mercury is about 1/4 of the melting point of krypton. The melting point of mercury is -39 degrees Celsius. Write and solve an equation to find the melting point of krypton. Okay, so the melting point of mercury is 1/4 the melting point of krypton. So 1/4 the melting pot of krypton equals mercury. Okay, those melting points. Well, it says the melting point of mercury is -39 degrees. So I'm going to replace mercury's melting point with -39, 1/4, and krypton I don't know, so I'm making it a K. Now, to get K alone, I need to get rid of that 1/4. Well, to get rid of a fraction, we will multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1. So to find a reciprocal, you just flip the value. I multiply by 4/1 on the other side as well. These cancel out. K is alone. We need to do -39 times 4 over here. 12. So we get -156 degrees Celsius. And that's it for today's notes. If you have any questions, be sure to contact your teacher.